Здравствуйте, мальчики и девочки. Рад приветствовать вас на канале Папа Психопата. Ну что ж, сегодня мы, наверное, заканчиваем в этой серии прохождения Call of Juarez. 3 эпизода осталось. По-моему, да? Да, вот, 12, 13, 14. Так что, скорее всего, эта серия будет чуть-чуть подлиннее, но она будет финальной.
So, Bob Bryant got away?
I knew I'd never find him in South America.
What about the other killer?
Yeah, you kinda glossed over that one.
Well, I found Jim not long after my showdown with Ringo. At the time, he was riding with the James Younger gang. Did I neglect to mention that?
Джесси Джеймс.
Jesse James? The greatest outlaw who ever lived?
Jesse and his kin rode with Quantrill when he raided Lawrence, Kansas, and killed near 200 people, boy.
Nothing great about that.
And from there, him and his brother went on to rob banks and trains from Kansas to Missouri.
Which is why there was such a rich bounty on their heads. 40 grand for both of them, dead or alive. That's one hell of a payday.
И мы решили рубануть бабла и завалить этого чепика. Ну чё, погнали. И опять поезд.
I confronted them as they were robbing a train. Bullets were flying at me from every which way. But I knew I'd have to fight my way forward if I was gonna find this Jim.
Come out, you yellow bastard! Ready to be
Бабах. И где же рядом самородок? Так, ну кому там не влом поставят на паузу. Почитают. А мы побежали дальше.
Now wait a second. How'd they stop this train in the first place?
Well, the James boys were experts at this.
Чего, блин? Ну ладно, допустим.
They hopped a freight train having heard there was a big payroll in the express safe. So, I hopped the same train. The James Younger gang was decimated after that little fiasco they had in Northfield, Minnesota. So Jesse needed more men and took on the killer I was after, along with a host of others. I was hoping to find my man and put a bullet in his head.
Господи, эти поезда уже надоели за эти последние
Climbing around
миссии.
that train, I must have swallowed 100 damn bugs before I
The
reached
James
that.
Younger gang pulled the first train robbery west of the Mississippi.
Sounds like you hold them in high regard.
Everyone knows they were the most famous outlaw gang ever.
And you took them all on by your lonesome. Again. I'm finding this all a little hard to swallow, friend.
Well, maybe you need to wash it down with some whiskey. By the way, did I mention that that train was flying down those tracks like a bat out of hell?
Конечно, только с ноги. Давай, 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 давай. А вот не надо вот в меня своими динамитами кидать.
Anyway, excuse me, Ben. Where would I find the gentleman's facilities? Suddenly I have an urgent need to drain my one-eyed snake. Well, I've had more than a few drinks, and I've been sitting here for quite a spell.
Right through there. Let me show you.
Отличная ремарка. Он пошел поссать. Ну, мы подождем. А звук расстегивающихся штанов будет, нет?
I never heard so much malarkey in my life.
You think he's bullshitting us?
You don't think he's Silas Greaves?
I think he's just some old drunk looking for some free liquor.
Я с самой первой миссии так думаю. Что что-то тут не в порядке.
I don't know, Jack. I think I believe him. You don't think he met Jesse James?
Boy, you gotta be kidding me. That story makes no sense at all.
Jack,
I mean, you gotta be 2 bricks short of a load to believe that cock and bull story.
I don't agree.
Jack, lay off the
But
bar.
you seriously think that tired old man went toe-to-toe with Jesse James?
Все это время мы с вагона в вагон переходим.
Well, that's better. Did I mention that this Jim was married to the infamous Belle Star? Of course, I didn't learn that until later. Anyway, I made my way forward the best I could. Around the sides, over the roof.
Хорош. Что у нас тут по уровню? Что можно вкачать? Разделение динамита в полете. Полезно, но недоступно. Ну, дополнительно вон 3 комбо. А, возьмем, пофиг.
At some point, some bitch saw me and shouted out, "It's a damn Pinkerton!"
Ого.
Now, I never worked for that limey cocksucker, but I guess they assumed I was one of his assassins. Those evil bastards firebombed Jesse's mother's house and killed his stepbrother. So it's no wonder each and every asshole on that train wanted me dead.
Everybody's always mistaking you for somebody else, aren't they? Why is that, I wonder?
Don't rightly know, Jack. I'm just telling you how I remember it.
I bet you are.
Sorry, son of a bitch.
Классно, я его в руку прострелил через текстуру. Да серьезно? Что-то мне так легко кабину сломали. До этого все хорошо было. А, все. Сейф поймал. На месте смерти. Ну ладно. Черт.
Show yourself, coward.
I came across a flat car piled high with logs and had to come up with a creative way to make my way forward.
А чё, типа, как-то цепь? Ну ладно. Думал, можно как-то эти бревна скинуть отсюда.
I wondered if I was ever gonna find the front of that train. Or the bastard I was after. Jesse hired a damn army after Northfield. Guess he didn't want to be outgunned like that ever again. Right about then, I was attacked by some asshole on a Gatling gun.
Yeah, seems like you run into a lot of them.
Asshole?
Gatling guns.
Yes, I did. Now, I don't remember how I took it out. It was either a bullet or dynamite.
Where would you find dynamite?
Does it really matter, Jack? You're messing with the flow of the story here.
Ай-яй-яй-яй-яй. тихо. Мы чуть не всосали. И вот это совпадение, нам нужно встать за пулемет. Так, ну все, третий раз это уже не так весело. Да, все, хорош. Хватит с тебя.
I was looking for Jim and shooting any son of a bitch stupid enough to get in my way. And that included Jesse James himself.
Ну и чё толку?
There sure were a lot of men determined to die that day.
Так, здесь еще кто-то живой вроде был. А нет.
It was then that Jesse detached the express car from the rest of the damn train.
О,
I could see Jesse waiting for me, fixing to kill me so he could get away with all that money.
You had a showdown with Jesse James?
Of course he didn't. Everybody knows that Jesse was killed by Bob Ford. Yeah, Jesse went out like John Wesley Hardin. Coward shot him in the back of the head.
Guess it doesn't matter how far you run, does it, Ben? Your past always catches up with you. Yeah,
Хорош.
I didn't kill Jesse James. Just wounded him bad enough to convince him to hang up his guns.
What about that Jim fella? What happened to him?
I figure he was up front with a gun to the engineer's head. That bastard slipped away again. I'll tell you how I got him. But first I need to wet my whistle.
чем дальше в лес, тем круче сказки. Ладно, давайте дальше. Осталось 2 миссии.
After my showdown with Jesse, I continued to track his brother, Frank, and that son of a bitch, Jim. I followed those bastards into the high mountains as they were going to ground.
What mountains would that be?
Somewhere in the Ozarks, I believe. A perfect place to hide out from the authorities.
Так, все, давайте мне побыстрее
In
мишени.
fact, before I could find them, some Indians who fled the
Начинается
Reds
опять,
and
блядь,
from the
индейцы.
military found me first. They probably thought I was a cavalry scout and didn't want me telling the military where they were.
Indians?
It could have been Cheyenne, but there was
Aye.
all sorts of renegades roaming the landscape back then.
Блядь, тебе сейчас твою красную задницу-то прострелю, блядь. Все, спокойной ночи, малыши. Все, что ли? Слабовато, господа, слабовато.
Hey, how about another whiskey, Ben? Nothing better to soothe the troubled soul.
Мне кажется, тебе уже хватит, дедуля. Я и так уже запизделся.
Now, where was I? Indians, right. I had more than my share of run-ins with the redmen. Like that time. Did I tell you about Grey Wolf?
Yes, sir. You did.
Ah, of course I did. In fact, I could still remember that old medicine man's words to me.
Jesus Christ, we're back to that again.
You carry great darkness in your heart.
О, господи, это же момент из флешбека, точно.
You will come to this place again and kill many more men.
О, самородочек. Здорово. А ну, лови динамит. Искусственный интеллект, конечно, тут оставляет желать лучшего.
And the darkness will grow until it consumes everything you are.
Все, достали. Ладно.
So, did you ever find him? The man you are after.
Let me ask you something, Ben. You ever think about death?
А, у нас тут очко,
Mr.
да?
Greaves, are you all right?
Сейчас он расскажет историю, как он умер. Так, подавление числом. Концентрация за комбо. Давайте. Тут уже особо ничего полезного нету, поэтому просто...
Ooh, death. Oh, death.
Поет хорошо. Лучше, чем рассказывает.
Won't you spare me over till another year? What is this that I can't see with ice cold hands taking hold of me?
In the day of glory, I miss by
None can excel. I'll open the door to heaven or hell. Oh,
Все, крышка
death,
потекла у старого.
someone would pray. Could you wait to call me another day? Oh, death. Oh, death. Won't you spare me over till another year?
Черт.
So, are you gonna answer the question?
What question is that?
Jim Reed. Did you ever find him?
Reed was indeed that son of a bitch's surname. That's right, Ben. A despicable character. I remember him laughing like a hyena that cold morning they lynched me and my brothers. He was intent on avoiding my vengeance, but nothing was gonna stop me. Nothing.
Что-то его повествование все более и более скомканным становится. О май гад, серьезно. Снайперская дуэль. А можно не надо?
I finally did track those outlaws down. They had long rifles with scopes and were well positioned to pick off any poor soul who came anywhere close.
Ну, перебежками, змейкой бежим, змейкой.
I'm guessing Frank James believed I was responsible for the demise of his brother Jesse. I couldn't really disagree with the man, as I thought Jesse was dead then as well. He backed off as I closed in on him, but he was still intent on killing me. And when I closed in on him again, he backed off again, looking for a better angle on me.
Ай. Это был неожиданно.
Well, I can't fault Frank for wanting his revenge, as I was there for the same damn reason myself. At this point, I'm guessing you think Silas Greaves is a worse murderer than Jim Reed ever was.
No, sir.
A man who spent half his life killing somebody's brothers, fathers, sons.
I think you were just looking for justice, sir.
Is that what I was looking for, Dwight? Is that what it was? Justice?
Мне кажется, ты ищешь только где выпить. Так вот он и умер. Так и помер Митрич. Все, сейчас титры такие финальные начнутся. Самая тупая смерть в истории компьютера, например, будет. Ладно. Это шутка.
Isn't that why you were hunting the James gang?
The James gang. Right. I finally found Frank holed up in his mountain cabin, and he was determined to have me dead. It was a pitched battle that could have gone either way. Luckily, I had some dynamite in my possession.
Dynamite. On your person.
A few sticks, just in case. It's always good to be prepared.
Вот же, блин. Ну ладно. Мы не расстраиваемся.
It was a pitched battle that could have gone either way. Luckily, I had some dynamite in my possession.
Dynamite. On your person.
A few sticks, just in case. It's always good to be prepared.
Right.
I'm just laying out the facts as I remember them,
Take
Jack.
him out! He's just one man! Put him down! I want that bastard dead!
Так, надо динамита захватить, он где-то был, да? Ай.
Gonna cut you a new smile!
Ну, не сдамся так просто. Давай, давай, давай. О. Good position, my friend. Yes.
Well, it went tumbling right off that cliff.
With Frank James still in it?
Yes, sir.
But Frank James is still alive, living in Missouri, showing folks around the family farm for 25 cents a tour.
I didn't say he died in the fall, now did I?
Сука, как выкручивается старая.
I'm done with this damnable outlaw life! Kill me, don't kill me, do what you will! At this point, I just don't give a shit!
I explained to Frank that I had nothing against him personally and that I was looking for someone else.
You want Reed? Have at him! I never did like that bastard! I am done here!
We parted in peace as Frank pointed out the path to my prey before making his way back down the hill.
Какая прекрасная история.
With Reed.
Well, I finally found the last of the gang hiding in a nearby cave. First, I had to dispatch the lookouts, as I was determined not to let that murderer escape my revenge again.
Хорош.
But rather than wander in willy-nilly, I decided it would be better to smoke that sumbitch out. Hey, Reed! I shouted. No wonder you're so ornery. Can't be easy being married to Belle Starr. While you're off providing for the family, she's spreading her legs for every Tom, Dick, and Cole Younger. Not an attractive woman exactly, but very friendly. At least she was to me.
Son of a bitch!
Ну давай,
It
выходи.
was then that the last bunch of bandits jumped out of hiding.
Why won't this asshole give up?
Would someone please kill him?
Сукины дети. Выходи по одному. Первый раз я нормально опробовал эту штуку.
Eventually, it was just me and Reed.
Давай-ка я угадаю. Дуэль? Как неожиданно.
I
Я даже
had
не
waited a
знаю.
long time to face him down, so I could repay him for what he did to my brothers.
Ну давай. Хорош.
And
Я
repay
прям
him
научился
I
стрелять.
did.
Надо, короче, всегда уклоняться либо влево, либо вправо. В любом случае. Дурачки, стрелять не умеют совсем. Отлично. Ну что ж, последняя миссия.
Well, I don't know about you boys, but I'm pretty bait.
Well, it's too damn bad you never found that Bob character. Seems a shame he never had to pay.
Well, funny thing about that, I did have one more chance at him.
Возвращение к
6
эпизоду
months
7.
ago, I heard that Butch and Sundance were back in the States and had gathered up some of their old gang. I tracked them down, hoping that Roscoe Bob Bryant had returned with them.
So you're saying they didn't die down in Bolivia?
That's what I'm saying.
Интересно, в конце будет какое-то подтверждение правдивости всей его истории или нет? Или просто за ним вернется пьяная... Ой, господи, пьяная. За ним пьяным жена вернется и отпиздит его сковородкой. Вот это было бы великой концовкой. Уровни
40 years I had
Биошок.
waited to get my hands on the last of my brother's killers. Not even an army of demons could have stopped me now.
I am unstoppable.
Both Johnny Ringo and Jim Reed fell fairly quickly. But the last one, fiasco Bob Bryant. That son of a bitch had managed to escape my vengeance time and time again. I couldn't even be certain I'd recognize him after all those years. By now, he had to be close to 70.
But for all you know, he could have been dead.
That thought had indeed crossed my mind, as did others. For instance, did my thirst for vengeance turn me into something worse than the man I was
Ты в
after?
этом сомневаешься? Ты столько народу переубивал. Ладно, сбор трофейного динамита. Бесполезно, но хрен с ним.
By this point in my storied career, I had killed more men than Bob Bryant ever had. I was furious as hell at that bastard for making me who I am. A man with no family, no friends, no purpose except shooting Bob Bryant dead.
Ну а что, тоже неплохая цель так, да? Всю жизнь хотеть кого-то завалить.
Nothing
Потом такой метод.
could stop me from taking his life.
Чего? А, это была дробь. Ну, я думаю, тут вообще не вариант было выжить. Ладно. Я запомнил тебя. Сученыш. Так, стоп. Все верно. Да, блядь, серьезно? Я же уже в другую сторону отклонялся. Твою мать, опять очки покупать. Точнее, тратить. Ну, сука, несправедливо. Самое печальное — это, блин, скрипт. Его никак не пропустишь. Да, блядь. Я в любом случае здесь умираю. Это что вообще за прикол? Как это работает? Допустим. Не, у меня типа ласт шанс есть, типа уклониться, но прям после от дробовика ж ни хера не работает. Все.
Nothing could stop me from taking his life. I'd been after that killer forever. From the time I rode with Billy the Kid. But that chapter of my story you already know.
Chapter of that fairy tale, you mean?
Suddenly it was 1910. There I was, an old man roaming a ghost town dead almost 2 decades.
Самородок-то где? Ладно. Не сильно и хочется-то их уже искать. Ну, хочется. Он же кричит мне: забери меня, давай, возьми меня. Не могу же я ему так просто отказать. Нет, могу. Все-таки могу.
Town was falling apart, just like me.
Я тут запутался в этих одинаковых локациях уже, блин, куда идти?
But I wasn't
Не
about to call
фартануло,
it quits.
пацану. Сегодня не твой день, явно. Самородок, здорово. Роско Боб Брайант. Сынки.
Even though the ghosts of my dead brothers were begging me to end what I started so long ago.
Mr. Graves, are you all right? Would you like some water?
The Wild Bunch knew I was there. They were after a
Should
treasure
be
they had hidden before they fled, buried in the grave of a dead amigo. Some folks think the town is haunted, so they figured there wouldn't be many people poking around. I intended to fill that grave with Bob Bryant's corpse. But like I said, the bandits knew I was on to them.
Да-да,
They
всё, мы
lured
это
me
уже
in
слышали.
and hit me with everything they had.
But you obviously prevailed since you said
Actually, in that moment, I did not prevail.
So I suppose we're talking to a ghost.
Funny you should put it like that, Jack.
Чего?
Because when I woke up,
From the dead?
there was silence all around me.
Ну, сука.
I could swear to God I saw Billy then.
Billy who?
Billy, the kid. William Bonney. He was shooting at me from a rooftop. Here and there. Even over there.
So I am right. You are titched in the head.
Mr.
да.
Graves, perhaps we should switch you to coffee?
You see that old Indian again, too?
No, but I did see Billy's killer. Patrick Floyd Garrett. He came at me guns a-blazing. But I knew
got
that
them.
old war horse had died 2 years before. I wondered if maybe I was dead too and confronting the ghosts of my past. Perhaps all my sins were coming back to haunt me and drag me down to perdition. I saw Henry Plummer throw dynamite at me.
Вообще, эту миссию, мне кажется, вообще можно было не делать. Что-то как-то все прям слишком бредово. Все это чувство вины, якобы нахлынувшее на него.
And in the gates of the cemetery, I saw John Wesley Hardin, just like I remembered him. Robert Ollinger appeared with his terrible double-barrel shotgun. But no ghost army was
То есть вы еще с одного
stopping me.
выстрела не убиваетесь, да?
My father-in-law got hit with a fallen branch. He spent the rest of his life talking to dogs.
А русским на голову упала стабильность. Не знаю, зачем я про
Newman
это
Hayes
пошутил.
Clanton, William Brocious, John Peters Ringo, they all wanted me dead.
Гребаные мексикашки.
The Dalton brothers, Robert and Grattan, guardians of the Garden of the Dead.
Ну Все у старого окончательно крышак потек. О, собака.
George Curry and Harvey Logan, alias Kid Curry. The Dalton brothers, Robert and Grattan, guardians of the Garden of the Dead.
Что за фигня? Типа я чё, окончательно отклонился от истории, да? Мы тут только среди плит могильных можно ходить, походу.
George Curry and Harvey Logan, alias Kid Curry, both thirsty for vengeance from the great beyond. Jesse, Woodson, James, and Jim Reed. Each one deader than the next. I thought I would go crazy. Thought.
Все,
I saw
хорош.
Harry Alonzo Longabaugh,
The Sundance Kid?
like a general leading his legion of the dead.
You told us before that you've seen him alive.
He was alive.
Тихо. Ай-яй-яй-яй-яй-яй. Ай-яй-яй. Вот тут бы дробовик, кстати, не помешал бы. Давай, 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 давай. Ай, черт, меня сейчас опять шлепнут. А может и нет.
Then I heard a voice
До
call to me
свидания.
from afar.
Да? И какой же голос? Голос разума. Что тут стрельба по брошенному динамиту?
It was Robert
Бесполезно
Leroy
уже.
Parker, a.k.a. Butch Cassidy, coming at me from out of the fog.
Thanks for taking care of that bastard.
Чего?
But the kid wasn't quite deceased. Not yet.
Давайте тройничок сообразим.
Those two looked like they hadn't seen each other for quite a while. Clearly, they were no longer amigos.
Shit. I was hoping I wouldn't have to kill you. You won't have to, Butch. I'm killing you first.
I asked them about Bob Bryant, but they were too busy with their own heated conversation.
Let me get this shit straight. You want my money and the love of my life?
You frittered it all away, Butch. Etta's mine. So is that damn money.
I didn't want to shoot anybody until I had an answer to my question, but those boys didn't give me much of a choice.
Че, дуэль на троих давай? Угу. В мексиканской дуэли используйте QE для переключения фокуса на противника, который смотрит на вас. Серьезно? А, мне надо было обоих завалить, я понял. Какие-то странные правила в этой дуэли. Очень.
Butch Cassidy and the
Хорош.
Sundance Kid died there in that cemetery not 6 months ago.
Ну я просто красавчик. Это была последняя миссия или нет? Вроде как да. А, эпилог. Все, давай.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid were killed by the Bolivian army. Everybody knows that.
That's the legend, but it ain't the truth.
So, you never found Bob? There is no Bob. This old sumbitch ain't even Silas Greaves.
Sir, is that true? Have you been pulling our legs this whole time?
Well, not the whole time.
Oh man, I think you've worn out your welcome here.
Maybe you're right, Jack. Maybe it's time to pay.
Опа.
You see, Ben, or should I say Bob, your past always catches up with you.
I was a different man back then, crazy. Drinking, I've changed my ways, I swear
Вот
to
это
you.
поворот.
If I could turn back the clock,
But you can't, Bob.
Все. Дуэль с Бобом. Ну, блин. Вы что, прикалываетесь? Вы меня в этой стрелялке выбор заставляете делать? Ладно, я потом запишу альтернативную концовку и вставлю ее. Давайте пристрелим его нахер.
why'd you toy with me like that? Telling those tales, knowing all along. Why not just lay your cards on the table?
Here. I won't have it said that I left you with nothing.
That's how you want it? So be it.
Не сильно он расстроен.
Holy shit!
Right, Molly, move against that wall. Go!
А, и без вот этого вот, да? Чехана старый.
Damn lion drifter!
Чего? А процентики-то можно было оставить? Ну так чисто, ну, пожалуйста. Я просто козаул, как бы, понимаете? Я люблю всякую вот эту вот. Когда мне помогают. Ладно, вру, я все соусы прошел. И Bloodborne тоже. Катись в ад.
Seemed tougher in his stories, didn't he?
Ладно, я был почти. Я был близок. Мне кажется, это правильное решение его завалить. Хорош.
Oh, Jesus!
До свидания. Собаки, собачья смерть.
Did you know it was him all along?
Cassidy told me Bob was in Abilene before he died. But I wasn't sure Ben was my man until he revealed how much he knew about Ringo and Reed. The coin, of course. Well, that was the last nail in that particular coffin.
I better
Дело
go
должна
get the sheriff.
заканчиваться.
You okay, boy? You're looking mighty shook up.
Dwight, maybe you best go home. Young Eisenhower here is leaving for West Point tomorrow. He shouldn't get caught up in something like this.
I think I might head out myself at this juncture. Unless you want to stop me, Jack.
No, sir, Mr. Graves.
So where you going now? Now that you had your revenge?
Doesn't really matter, does it? As I've sold my soul for it, and will never again walk with those I have lost.
И это конец. Ну что ж, дед оказался не вруном. Все, понятно, ясно. Так вот и закончилась история Сайлоса Гривза. В принципе, из всех частей Call of Juarez это самое непонятное. Это просто какой-то интерактивный тир, очень линейный. Если сравнивать с первой частью, это, конечно, вообще не то. Даже Bound and Blood был круче, хотя мне не особо он нравится. Call of Juarez 1 самая лучшая часть из серии. Где-нибудь здесь я вставлю другую концовку. К сожалению, перезапуск последней миссии не дал нам доступ к последнему видеоролику, собственно, и к выбору концовки. Поэтому YouTube вам в помощь. Ставьте лайки, подписывайтесь на канал, щелкайте в колокольчик, чтобы не пропустить новые видеоролики на канале. С вами был Папа Психопат. Всем пока.